Sorry guys, looks like we had a little technical difficulty there, but hopefully you guys can find us again. Sometimes we have a little Wi-Fi problem.
Nobody's there yet.
Nobody's there. I'm talking to nobody.
No.
All right, well I'll give everybody a second to hopefully sign back in once you find us. Miss Ellen will let me know when we got some people.
Well, we got 3.
Ooh, hello everybody. Sorry for the technical difficulty we were having there. But glad you found us again. We had some Wi-Fi down for a second, but we're back. So just to recap, just in case anybody, I'm going to quickly just say some things. Oven we want at 450, if you're just signing in now. We did take our pizza dough out, so I want that nice and soft for us. And so far, if you're just signing in, the only things you've missed is we chopped up our broccoli and mushrooms and we sauteed those so far. But that's all we've done. That's all you've missed so far. And now we're moving on to our bell peppers. So we are just getting all of our possible mix-ins done first. That way when we roll out our calzone, we can just toss everything all together. So I'm just going around and slicing through my bell pepper, that's the word. And then you can also use with a knife, which is a lot easier, but to use a chopper, you want to get them into pieces like this, so it's a lot easier to chop. So I'm just going to do all my slices first. Remember, pushing all the way through, and then, like I was saying, that skin can be tough to get through, so you kind of have to wiggle through. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Right. Almost there. There's a lot of liquid in our bell peppers. But like I was saying, we have somebody out there, Izzy, who's using pepperoni and black olives in hers, which sounds super yummy. You can use pretty much anything you want to mix in here. You can even use different cheeses if you're interested. Lots of yummy cheeses out there. But I'm just going to put my bell pepper on the shiny side out to the side and then slice right through those pieces into nice small little squares. So saw. Remember, when you get close to the end, it's a little bit small, you really want to tuck in all those fingers. Okay, this one I cut a little odd, but I can still hold it on its side. So we're just chopping through. And then we're going to saute our bell pepper too. Just put it on some quick heat. And since we've got nice small pieces, it should cook pretty quickly. But yes, besides using something like spinach, baby spinach or tomatoes or black olives, you want to cook all your veggies first. Because even though they're going to go back in the oven, there's not that much time for them to cook in there. And it also gives it a lot more flavor if you saute it first. All right, almost through, just a few more pieces. There's a lot of bell pepper here. This is not going to cook quite as down as much as our mushrooms did. All right. Last few. Whew. It's got a lot of chopping to do. Alrighty. 2 more to go. And like I was saying, if you hold it on its side, it slides straight through. But if you try to use that shiny piece down, you really are going to have to saw through your bell pepper because it's tough to get through that outside skin. Okay. So just like that, we tap that off, and the same thing, we're going to do it again one more time. I'm going to turn on that heat, not too high. But my burner is a very strong burner, so I'm going to turn it all the way down to low. But if you're at home, you'd probably do like a medium temp. About 2 teaspoons of oil in there, and then we're just going to wait for it to warm up again. Mine got hot real quick. And when you're throwing it in there, make sure you're holding your hand above it. Don't get too close to that pan, because if you hit those sides, you can definitely hurt yourself. All nice and flat in there. Just pat it down with your spatula so they're all cooking at the same time. Beautiful. And we'll give that a minute. So I'm gonna flip over my cutting board and I'm actually gonna rinse off my hands because I got quite a bit of our bell pepper juice all over them. And then we can come back and we can start talking about our cheeses. Work on those. So I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back. I'm fast. Probably could have taken a few more minutes washing, but I just need to do a quick rinse. Quick rinse off. Alright, so I'm going to move those around a little bit. Like all of our veggies, we're going to need a little bit of color on there. Sauteing, can you guys hear that sizzle? So when you saute, you want to do it over medium heat. And it means to jump or hot in French. So you can hear all of our oils and liquids in there jumping around. Just need to cook it just a little bit. Give it one more second. All right. Our first cheese, mozzarella, so good. Take these off so I don't burn our bell peppers. You want to get a little color, but we're not looking for too much. This one's going to be nice and tender. Give it a second. How's everybody doing out there? You guys staying with me? You guys chop up all your toppings? Maybe? Thumbs up?
Kim said thank you for doing classes during this time.
Aw, thank you, Kim. I'm so happy you're with us. Alright, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna move it around, give it a quick flip. Perfect. And then you can see I'm just setting everything up on my plate. That way if I want to make one calzone with just mushrooms I can, or I can make a combination of things. Just depends what I'm looking for. Alright, and there we go. So I'm going to bring it all to the bottom of my pan before I slide it onto my plate. So you've got a smaller area then, so it's easier just to slide straight down. And it's also good to do your veggies first so they have some time to cool. Because in our filling, we are going to be using egg. And we don't want to put hot veggies in with our eggs. You know what that's going to do? It's going to cook our egg before we want it to. So I want to make sure those have some time to cool down. But don't worry, we've got some time. So we're going to be chopping some, or grating some cheese. So I can pull all our veggies to the side. And we're going to start with our mozzarella cheese. We've got a pretty big chunk here, so hopefully you guys got some helpers out there who are going to help grate some of this. So depending on the grater you're using, you want to use a piece of cheese that's the size of the grater. So if it's bigger than the grater, it's really not going to grate it, is it? So I'm going to cut this into some smaller pieces. Probably could do 3. Ooh, my tongue's going to be tired after this. So what you're going to do is you want to hold all your fingers back. This is going to be the hardest cheese for us to grate because it is so soft. So I always suggest leaving in the fridge as long as possible so it can stay as hard as possible. And then you want to hold your cheese grater on a diagonal. So there's lots of room for our cheese to fill up in grated pieces over here and you're not trying to smash through it. If you're pushing it down like this, there's nowhere for our cheese to go, right? And then we also want to hold it against our cutting board so we have something to brace against. And then we're going to pull our fingers back and just go up and down, going down the slide. Really down's all that counts, but you got to get up somehow. So I'm just going to grate that cheese. Does anybody have a different kind of cheese they might be using instead of mozzarella out there? You can use pretty much any other soft cheese. If you're doing a broccoli one, it might be really yummy to use a cheddar. That would be good.
Izzy's cooking her pepperoni to get it crispy.
Ooh, good call, Izzy. She's gonna cook it first, yes. I do like the crispy pepperoni. That's a good idea. Yeah, whenever I get my pizza at home with pepperoni on it, I always say I like it on top versus underneath the cheese. It gets nice and crispy. So once we get that pile, we're gonna move that out of the way. That way we're not struggling to push our cheese again. Just grating and grating. Remember, we do not want to grate our fingers, so make sure you're pushing those fingers back. It's just like it can grate our cheese, it can grate our fingers. We want no fingers inside of our food today, please. So much muscle that goes into grating. It's probably my least favorite thing to do in the kitchen, but you know, cheese is one of my favorite things to eat, so you gotta grate it so you can eat it. It's kind of the necessity. Alright guys, so once we get to a pretty small piece, so we can't grate any more without smashing our fingers into it, you know what we get to do with it? We can eat it. So, we just want to pop our head back and drop it in our mouth so we don't touch our fingers to our mouth. That way we don't have to get our hands washed again. That was a pretty big piece. That was good. I love mozzarella. Okay, moving on to the second one. How's grating doing, guys? Arms getting tired yet? Up and down, up and down. All right. And for our cheese, so for our filling, like I was talking about, we're going to put all of our filling in this bowl with our wooden spoon, but we want to leave out half of each of our cheeses. So the mozzarella and the Parmesan, we're only going to put half of the grated cheese in our bowl, and then we're going to leave the other half out to sprinkle on top. Not on top of our calzone, but once we put the filling in, then we're going to sprinkle on top of the filling and then close up our calzones. Alright, that was a lot of cheese. This is going to be some cheesy calzones, for sure. Okay, and then I have one more piece to go after this, guys, and then we get to the easier cheese, the Parmesan cheese. You'd think it'd be harder because it's a harder cheese, but it's actually easier to grate because it doesn't smush so much. I'm going to set this one aside and keep going. Keep it going. Grating and grating.
Amy said they just had them for dinner and they were super yummy. She wishes she had taken a picture.
Oh, Amy, I wish you would have taken a picture too, but I'm so happy you enjoyed it.
That happens to us all the time.
Yeah, we get really excited when we make food here, and we always put it online after, but then we eat it too fast and we forget to take a picture. It happens, I get it. And that is the situation with cooking. You get too excited about eating the food once it comes out. You smell it. It's all very tempting. Oof. Almost done. This is my last piece, guys. Bear with me. Hopefully you guys divided up your pieces so you only had to do one of these big chunks. Or depending on how many people you have, you might have had 6 people. Maybe you could have divided it into 6 different pieces. Alright, so since I ate a really big chunk for my first bite, I'm going to take the leftover pieces and I'm just going to rip them up with my fingers. So I don't know if I need that much more mozzarella cheese right now. We're going to have a very cheesy calzone later. Okay, so I've got my big pile of cheese here. So I'm going to take it, and I would say that looks right down the middle. So you can just kind of draw a line there and pull one half to the side. And then we'll take the other half and put it all in our bowl. Beautiful. Okay, now we're going to move on to our Parmesan. So we don't need as much Parmesan because the Parmesan is very strong cheese. So I'm going to take all of this mozzarella, put it on my plate. I like to always have a nice clean cutting board. It makes it easier to work on. And then I'm going to go on to my Parmesan cheese. So I just use the smaller pieces, so you guys hopefully get a thicker piece, but these are going to be a little bit thinner. It's the very end of the Parmesan block. You can just go up and down. Another really yummy one that's similar to Parmesan is like an Asiago cheese, which would be really yummy. Pecorino Romano. There's so many cheese options. Gruyere. Gruyere would be really good too. Alright, but if you guys are with me on this, isn't this one a lot easier to grate? So I got that little piece too close to my fingers. We'll go on to the next one. Just up and down, all day long. And like I was saying, I've got a really thin piece, so it might crack off a little bit, but that's okay. These aren't going to be as easy to rip up the last little pieces if you want to throw them in there, but what you can do at the end is we can use our chopper and we can chop up those little pieces at the end. But I think we should also taste one too. What do you guys think? Always important to taste your food, know what it tastes like before you put it together. There we go. Almost. Yes, this was so much easier. It was a lot less cheese than we had with mozzarella, but it's also just a lot easier to grate. Okay. So there we go. I'm going to pull all that to the side and I'm going to find my piece. Anybody want to try one with me? A little taste test? You going to drop it in?
Natalie wonders what we're making.
No, Natalie, we are making build your own calzones today. So, if you missed anything, I've got a pound of my pizza dough here. We just grated up some mozzarella cheese, some Parmesan cheese, and we chopped our toppings and sauteed them. So we have mushrooms, broccoli, and bell peppers over here so far. So that's what you've missed so far, but you can jump on in. So I've got my Parmesan cheese here. So once again, I'm going to divide these into two piles. See if they look kind of even. They don't have to be perfect. But I'm going to take some of my Parmesan and add that to my bowl. We're only taking half of each kind of cheese and putting it in our bowl, and then the other half we are leaving over here to sprinkle on top. So, like I said, we've got these little pieces over here. So we can just take our chopper, use both hands on top. So you don't want to try to use a bear claw because it's tiny little pieces. And we're just going to chop it up. We can make them a little bit smaller. And we'll just have little pieces of Parmesan. Alright. I'm going to add all these chopped pieces to the inside. Put that right in there. Okay.
We got a good job.
Oh, thanks guys. I'm glad you're having fun. So, in my bowl, I've got mozzarella cheese and Parmesan cheese. Remember, half of our cheese is gone in here. Going on to our third cheese, one of my favorite cheeses, ricotta cheese. This you'll find a lot of the times inside lasagna, also inside calzones. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to mash it up in there a little bit. Mix it all together. Mixing and mixing. This is going to be the filling that's going to go inside of our calzones. So you can do this two ways. Like I was saying, I'm going to be adding the veggies to here. I think I'm going to add all my veggies because I love them all. But, you know, if you want to make different kinds of fillings, you might want to take some of, divide this into separate bowls, and then add each filling to the bowl. So that way you can make different fillings for each person for whatever they want. Or you can put some of the ricotta down and then sprinkle the filling on top, depending on how you want to do it. So we've got our three cheeses in here now. And now we've got to crack our egg. So our egg kind of just holds all of the stuff together once it cooks in there. So when we're cracking, we want to tap, tap, tap right on the table until you hear a crack. It's important to tap right on a flat surface so you don't shove the shell in there. Then we're going to stick our fingers in and just pull it apart, just like that. Alright. And now that we're a little bit messy, we should probably get our hands washed again so we don't have egg everywhere. And now we don't want to taste any of this filling because it's got egg in it, right guys? Don't want anybody to have bellyache. So I'm going to get my hands washed and then I'll be back and we can start looking at making our calzones.
Jessica wants to know if they have to use an egg.
You do not have to use an egg, Jessica. Not at all. So it is going to bind some of the stuff together in there, but if you don't have an egg, it's not the end of the world. Not the end of the world at all. So I'm going to start mixing that all up inside my bowl. You just want to really mix it. You're going to break up that yolk. Make sure you're scraping down the sides. Really whip it up. Okay. And now we need a little bit of seasoning. So we are going to add a half a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to grab my half teaspoon. Push all my salt down to one side so I can get a real big scoop. And then we're going to make our finger real flat and push it right over the top. And sprinkle a half a teaspoon of salt right on top of there. Mix that in. Okay. So before I add any of my veggies to my bowl,
Wendy wants to know if you added the ricotta.
I did. In this bowl, I have 1 egg, 3/4 cup of ricotta, and then 3 ounces of mozzarella cheese and a half an ounce of Parmesan, and a half a teaspoon of salt. So that's what I've got so far in here. Just like that. But, is anybody ready to try some of our fillings? See what we think? You can also try like 2 pieces together and see if you like it together. So I'm going to try a piece of mushroom and broccoli together and see what I think. Mushroom stuck to my finger. Yum. And now they're nice and cooled down. Remember, I was saying that we want all of our cooked veggies to be cooled down first, so they're not going to cook our egg when we put them in here. All right. Now how about some broccoli and bell pepper? Are you guys trying anything out there? Any new fillings you guys haven't had before? Oh, so good. Miss Elena, can you actually give me 1 cup measuring cup? So, we want to put 1 cup of cooked veggies into our fillings. So I'm going to go ahead and measure that out just to make sure I've got the exact amount. Oh, thank you. Alright, and like I said, I'm going to do all 3 fillings, so I think they're all going to be delicious together. So I'm going to put my mushrooms in there. I'm going to try to get even amounts of each. Let's see. Put some bell pepper. And then broccoli right on top.
Jack and Macy say hi.
Hey, Jack and Macy. Hope you guys are enjoying your calzones. Okay, that's just about those. I'm going to do just a little bit more. I think almost everything on my plate is about a cup of filling. So it's perfect. Look at that. I don't even need to measure it. It's pretty exact. Okay. So I've got a nice full cup of our cooked veggies. I'm going to turn that over and then just mix it all together with our ricotta and Parmesan, mozzarella and our egg.
Izzy tasted her peppers, onions, black olive, and pepperoni together.
Ooh.
It was amazing.
Did you guys all hear that? Hopefully you didn't hear Miss Elena behind you, but Izzy was saying she tried all of her toppings together and it was amazing. I'm so happy to hear it. Love the taste testing. Alright, so you guys can see it kind of looks like that. Not, you know, the yummiest looking thing ever, but it's going to be really good, I promise. Oh, I promise. So I'm going to get some of this dirty stuff out of our way before we move on to rolling out some of our calzone. Leave that still. And since I've made a bit of a mess, I'm going to wipe it down a little too. Wipe. A little pile. Because otherwise, when I roll out my dough, all this stuff's going to be on the outside of my dough. So I don't want that all on the outside. So I want a nice, clean surface to work on. All right, I'm back. Back again. We've got our cheese plate where I mixed together our extra Parmesan and mozzarella cheese. And now we've got our 1 pound of dough. So I'm gonna flip that out. Maybe who wants to come on out with me? And it's nice and soft now. And the first thing we're gonna do is we need to divide up this dough. But if it's also a little bit sticky, we want to put some cornmeal down. So we're just going to do a nice sprinkle of cornmeal. Sprinkle it all around. And I'm going to pop that dough right on top there. So if you have your 1 pound of dough, this is going to make 6 different calzones. So that's a lot of calzones, right? Pat that down, make it a little easier to divide up. And then I'm going to grab my chopper back. And let's see. How are we going to divide this? So I'm going to cut down the middle first. Right down the middle. And then I'm going to have 2 pieces. So each of these 2 pieces I need to break into 3 different pieces. So then I'm going to take this one, cut over here, cut over here, and there we go. Got 3 pieces. So now we have 3 calzones. So now we got to do it again. Cut over here, cut over here, and now we've got 6 calzones. Okay, so we want to just take them all, move them out of the way so we have a nice clean area. And we're going to get that cornmeal all over our 1 calzone piece. Oh my gosh, you know what I forgot, guys? Silly me. How am I going to roll this out without a rolling pin? That's impossible. Actually, you could use, if you have different, like a can, you could definitely use a can or a bottle. Sometimes works too if you guys don't have a rolling pin, but a rolling pin is definitely the easiest. So we're going to use the handles, and if it starts to stick to your rolling pin a little bit, we just want to flip it over and roll it in that cornmeal. And I say this a lot, but our pizza dough is going to be about the size of our face. Ooh, I've got some very sticky pizza dough. Just keep rolling there. So I'm going to make it nice and wide. We're looking for a good sized circle. You want the circle to be a little bit longer on one side. Just like your face. So we're going to go just like that. Can you see me? Okay. So we have 1 there. What do you think? Should I just do 1 and then we'll move on and do a second one? Let's do that. So what we want to do, should make it a little bit wider. A little bit wider. Okay, there we go. So you want to put all of your filling towards the bottom of your dough. Because what you're going to do is you're going to take over one side and flip it over to the other. And then we are going to have about an inch border all the way around so we can seal it up. Okay? Stretch it out a little bit. Perfect. So this is going to be for 6. So I need to divide this quite right. I'm going to put a pile over here and a pile over here. Okay. Take that pile, bring it right to the bottom. Just like that. Put that all on there. Just a little bit more. And then we're going to go back for our cheese. And we're going to take that sprinkle of cheese right on top to make it nice and cheesy. Extra cheesy. A little sticky. You can always use your apron. It's a little messy, but you can use your apron to wipe off your fingers. We're going to take one side, fold it over the other, and then we're just going to start rolling. So you just pinch up the edges and roll them all the way around. So you see I'm just pinching and rolling. All the way. And then, look what we got. We got our beautiful calzone. Huh? What do you think about that? So, we do want to make some slits in it to make sure that it doesn't explode out with all the cheese and liquid inside there. So that's where I come in with my knife. So what I like to do is I like to poke 2 little eyes and then cut a nice mouth. So I've got a smiley calzone. Check it out, guys. I've got a super happy calzone here. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to put that right in my sheet pan and then we can do another one.
Jack has a joke for you.
Jack, you have a joke for me? I love jokes.
What did the pepperoni say to the gangster?
What did the pepperoni say to the what?
Gangster.
The gangster. Does anybody out there know? I don't know what the pepperoni.
She already wrote it in there.
Ah, you wrote it too fast. Now I'm the only one who's guessing out here. The pepperoni said to the gangster. I couldn't even guess. What is it?
Want a pizza me?
Want a pizza me? It's a good one, Jack. I like it. I like it. I'm always down for a good joke. Alrighty, we're going down for calzone number 2. Whoa, this dough is sticky, so just take it right off that rolling pin. Really get that cornmeal all over it. And then we're just rolling. We're rolling again. How's your calzones looking out there, guys? Hopefully, you guys got some super yummy calzones. Like I was saying, you can, just like I made a smiley face, you can make any picture you want. You want to make sure that you're not cutting the whole thing open to make your picture. So then all of your cheese is going to go pouring out. But it is fun to make a little design on top. Okay. So once again, about the size of my face, I'm going to take some of that filling, put it right down there. And since I'm not making that many calzones, I'm going to really stuff this one. I'm going to put a bunch in there. Why not? Make a very filled calzone. Sprinkle that cheese on top. And then we're just going to hide it like a pillow. Fold it right over. And now we got to get rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Rolling up my dough. Rolling till it's all hidden inside. No? Alright. So I've got quite an end piece over here that was left over, so I'm just going to take that. I'm going to chop it off. I don't want all that extra crust. I'm not huge on crust anyway, so I don't want all that extra crust right there. And then I'm going to make a little face. Maybe I'll even put a nose on this one. Beautiful. Alright, here we go again. Remember, it's kind of have to be gentle with it. It's a little bit flimsy now that it's not cooked. So I'm going to pop that on my sheet pan. And there we go, guys. Beautiful. So what we want to do next is we're going to put these in our 450-degree oven for about 18 to 20 minutes. So 15 to 18 on the card. My oven might be a little low in temperature, but the last one I made took about 20 minutes. Last time we made them. So I'm going to go pop these in. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so let's clean up some of this mess. I'm going to throw all my cheese in here when I make the rest of those later. All that together. And get that out of our way. And then I can take my garbage bowl and just scrape all of this in here. So it's a nice clean surface. Because you know what we need to bring back? We have one more thing to chop. We have to chop our garlic to go in our sauce. Because even though it's a pizza, it doesn't have sauce on the inside. We're going to make sauce separately, and then you dip your calzone in it. Get all those doughs out of the way. And let me go get my cutting board again. Alright, and I actually brought a saucepan to cook my sauce. But you know what? I scraped it out so nicely with my saute pan that I'm just going to cook my sauce right in here. Save a pan, why not? So, for anybody who got our kits, I've got this beautiful purple garlic. Isn't that skin really pretty? Super pretty. So, you can see the bottom. There's a flat piece. We want to chop that off And we're also going to chop the top off because I left the skin on because I thought it was so pretty. So we can chop off both sides, and then you just want to peel away that flaky skin. Okay, so now we have our 1 garlic clove. First thing we're going to do is we're going to curl it on our fingers, and we're going to thinly slice our garlic. Make it a little bit smaller. Make sure when it's getting closer to your fingers, you're pulling those fingers back. Push it all down, and then we're going to hold both hands on top, and we're going to mince them. So we want to hold our chopper really close to the cutting board and just do tiny little chops. We want to make these garlic pieces really, really small so we can spread the flavor all through our sauce. So a very important ingredient for our pizza sauce. Choppa, choppa, choppa. I'm in a very singing type of mood today. Chop, chop, chop. Alright, so pretty small pieces. Scrape all that garlic right off, so it's going to want to stick to your chopper. So it's very, very sticky. Beautiful. And we can start making our sauce. So I'm going to bring my saute pan right in the center this time. So I'm going to turn it on again. Remember, we want like a medium low because garlic can burn very quickly. So we do not want to cook it for very long. We just want to cook it until it's translucent and kind of somewhat you can see through it, and it starts to become fragrant, so you can start to smell it. So I'm going to put just a little bit of oil to cover the bottom of my pan, and then once it's nice and warm, remember we test to feel the heat on top. Don't get too close to that pan. Feeling pretty warm. Okay, I'm going to scrape that all down. Get it all in there. Probably could have gotten a little bit more warm, but it'll warm up on its own. We're just going to wait for it to get nice and translucent and start to smell it. Don't reach over a hot pan like I just did. That's a no-no. Okay. Is my heat on? It's on. I'm not smelling it yet. Ooh, it's starting to sizzle. So remember, we don't want any color on it. You don't want it to start to brown at all. So as soon as you start to smell it, about 30 seconds-ish, before it starts to brown, that's when we're going to slowly pour in our tomato sauce. So I have 1 clove of garlic, and then I'm going to add a whole can of tomato sauce in here. So I'm starting to smell it. Smelling good in here. It's smelling good. So funny. Every time I cook for my sister, as soon as I start cooking garlic, she's like, "Oh my gosh, what do you made? It smells so amazing in here," and it's just garlic. Garlic is a real good smell. So remember, don't throw all your sauce in there because you don't want it to splatter back at you. Just push it down nice and slow. Alright, and we're going to get all around those sides, make sure that we don't have the garlic just cooking on the edges and all the way through our sauce, and we're going to let that simmer for a second. A little bit of a simmer. So you want some bubbles, but you don't want it boiling. Not a raging boil. So I've got a raging boil. I've got a raging boil, guys. Alright, so some of the ingredients we're going to add in. The first one I'm going to pop in here, which you should remember to take out before you eat it, just because you're not going to eat a whole bay leaf. We just want to add it in for flavor, is our bay leaf. You guys can see it's actually, this is a high burner. Boils real quick. Nope, and then I turned off the burner all the way. Too far. Alright. It's hard to get the happy medium there. So where did I put my half teaspoon? There it is. So now we need a half teaspoon of the Italian seasoning. If you've got your pizza kit at home, we added all of the seasonings into one container. So you've got it all measured out for you. So you can just dump that right in. But I'm going to measure that out, so I'll make sure it's all the way to the top for our Italian seasoning. And then sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. And then we're going to do 1 whole teaspoon of oregano. So I'm going to do 2 scoops. Whoa, whoa, crazy, crazy sauce. Calm down. Alright, so And then the final thing we need to do is we are going to take a few pinches of sugar. So you can use your fingers, pinch your fingers just like this, just like a little alligator mouth, and just take a few pinches and sprinkle it right on top. Alright, and then we're going to mix that all up. You can let that simmer, hopefully not over boiling like I did, but just let it simmer for a little bit. And then you can serve it right on the plate. You can put it in a little bowl for dipping. It's completely up to you. You can drizzle it on top of your calzone. So I'm going to let that simmer for a moment, and I'm going to go get our final calzones. So we're doing a little kitchen magic as always. Your calzones are probably going to be in the oven for another 10-ish minutes, maybe. But I'm going to go see what ours looks like. So good. Yum. All right, I'm just going to cut off a little side piece so we can do a quick taste test, see what we think. All right, I'm going to dip it right in the sauce. It's going to be hot though. Make sure to blow on your sauce. Don't want to burn ourselves. Oh yeah, that's real good. Delicious. All right, guys. So thank you so much for coming and cooking with me today. Tomorrow at 11, Miss Elma is making biscuits and gravy, one of my favorite recipes here, so good. And then we will have our schedule for the next coming weeks coming up soon, so definitely check into our website for more information on that. But thanks again, I hope you have a wonderful dinner.